I don't know. He might pop in. I don't know. I'm just saying that because he's British now. Yeah. That's it. Oh yeah, can we? From one side of the broadcast to the other. Oh, my mic.
Good evening, sim race fans, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway for race number 2 of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. Joining me, Andy Kessler topside in the LSRTV booth is, of course, Gabriel Wood, and as always, our producer Cisco Scaramuza is down in the production van tonight. And after a wild and crazy, I guess, last 3 weeks, Gabe, we've finally gotten away from Daytona, and it's kind of cool to be at Atlanta here for the Truck Series and their second race of the season, and all the hype of the Daytona races, the plate tracks over the last couple of weeks, and that's all behind us. That's all said and done. We had a fantastic race last week, of course, in the trucks here at Daytona, but it's finally out of the system. Now we can get to the bulk of the schedule, the meat and potatoes, if you want to call it. And Atlanta this week, Martinsville next week. We start seeing really what these drivers really have in store for this season here.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, or that's what I was going to say, Andy, with the meat and potatoes of the schedule. Yeah, Daytona's all fine and dandy, but this is where your champion's going to come from here in Atlanta or next week at Martinsville, like just a dynamic of tracks. That's where your champion's going to come from. Yeah, winning at Daytona, it's nice. Doyle Woods will not object to winning it, but, you're going to want to win at every single type of racetrack if you want to walk away with the champion's trophy.
Absolutely. And, of course, speaking of Doyle Woods and last week's race, kind of a thrilling race. Came down to the end. We had a caution to end the race. It happened, though, at an inopportune time, I guess, for Alex Monteferrante. He was trying to get that lead away. Of course, went below the yellow line, if you remember watching last week. And he was told by administrators he had to give that position back. And before he could even attempt to, the caution came out, which obviously, as the results, it showed him in the first spot, but he had to give that spot up. And, of course, Doyle Woods getting the victory last week. A great way to start the season, of course. Winning is obviously what these guys love to do. And you put them out here on any track, on any given track, you're going to see what these guys got. And like we said, we get into a track like this at Atlanta Motor Speedway, 120 laps tonight, 180 miles, a long race for the trucks. But the trucks at Atlanta always seem to find a way to put on a good show, whether it's 2-3 wide racing. It just seems that the tire fall off here fits these trucks well, makes them hard to drive, makes it where these drivers, it's really up to the drivers of how they perform.
Yeah, and I want to go back to that 97 Alex Monteferrante. It's not like he made that pass below the yellow line. He intended to do it and went on to win the race after a couple laps. It was not 5 seconds maybe after he made that move that the caution came out. So they, instead of putting him to the end of the longest line that the rulebook says, they made a kind of a special exception for him and put him in second, right behind the winner of Doy Woods. That gives Alex the opportunity in that 97 truck to take this championship lead. It's only qualifying, but he has out-qualified the 91 of Doy Woods, your points leader right now. He's in 16th, and Alex is in second.
Yeah, it's definitely maybe a redemption. Maybe Alex Monteferrante has something to maybe prove to all his fans and everybody watching out there that, last week's run and fighting for that win last week obviously was no fluke at all. And, of course, getting the win, Doy Woods wants to continue. A long-time driver in the ASCORS series, dating all the way back to NASCAR 2003 days. So, obviously, Doy Woods is somebody that we'll have to watch out for tonight. And some of these guys, we're going to see some of these guys towards the mid-back of the pack that in the starting grid here tonight, that you're going to see them. Some of these guys are going to, maybe want to run in these qual laps, 2 laps real quick, just – they can't find the speed that they need, but these types of races with the tire fall off at Atlanta, the type of racing that we can see here with a 2 and 3 wide and taking chances, this is where you're going to see some of these guys towards the back of the field start to show what they got on the long runs, and that's going to absolutely help these guys over the course of the season. And like we said, this is going to show us who the players are as the season unfold as we get into races like this week at Atlanta, next week at Martinsville.
Yeah, the one thing you talk about long green flag runs, we got 180 miles, 124 laps here to get it done. And, you may see some wrecks after a restart or off the initial start just because the guys are racing hard trying to get as many positions as they can. But, once we get this car spread out, it's very hard to get a caution unless somebody self-spin it. But these trucks are very stable, especially with this setup. Haven't seen too many problems. So I think we're in for some long green flag run tonight.
Oh, absolutely, and that tends to happen when we do come to we start coming to these 1.5-mile tracks, and Atlanta's no exception to that. There is some trouble spots on this racetrack. One of them, or the big majority of the problem places that we see a lot, is really turn number 2 when these guys come off of turn 2. A lot of times these trucks will push up towards a wall or get loose coming off of turn 2. So we're going to see these guys trying different lines, guys down at the bottom, guys up in the middle of the track, maybe even some guys trying that high side. But it always seems that turn 2 really seems to be the most troublesome spot on the racetrack.
Yeah, once you get off turn 2, you think you have a lot more room. It's almost like turn 4 at Rockingham. Yeah, you can use that entire bottom, but it's not really worth it because you lose so much speed. And if you want to keep your speed up and keep it pinned to the floor as you exit turn 2, you run the risk of putting it up in that wall on the exit of 2, and that's where, like you said, a lot of your incidents are going to come from.
And, of course, a lot of times also coming off of that corner, guys will get into the wall. That's where we see some exciting saves by other drivers as well, as they're trying to avoid the mayhem of what can ensue once somebody does bounce off the wall like they do here off of turn number 2. So we'll keep an eye on that, obviously, as things go on tonight. But let's send it down trackside right now. We'll take care of our opening ceremonies and tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
want to thank Jaden Berkey for that beautiful rendition of tonight's national anthem. And getting back a little bit, we got a couple minutes here left before we get underway, Gabe, and we talk about these guys and the competition level in this series. We talked about it a lot last week. We didn't get to really see, obviously, a lot of it because it was a plate track. And but really, I think starting here tonight, 11 more races to go, including tonight, that this race here will really start to show us who those guys are, who those contenders are, really start showing the competition level as far as whether it be strategy or just rather it be all-out speed. We're going to see that competition level, I think, here tonight really come out.
Yeah, Andy, one thing about the competition in this league, when you look down the starting field right here, the top 35, top 40 drivers in the field, I guess it's a good sign for your league whenever a couple of the big-name guys didn't make it because they were actually racing in Daytona. So it's a good name for this league so far with some of the drivers in it.
Oh, it absolutely is. And we talked about the ASCORS coming back into fruition, and then obviously with their Cup Series getting underway this past Sunday night, which just was an outstanding race. I mean, one caution we saw about the lap 25 mark, I believe it was, and then the rest of the race was just green right out. And the great battle we saw down to the end, the last lap coming out of turn number 4 between Ray Alfala and Brian Blackford was just an outstanding race, obviously, to put on. So I think these truck guys, they put on a good race than the Cup guys did, and we'll see what they'll be able to do here tonight if they can set the bar high for these Cup Series guys again here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And as practice and qualifying clock strikes 0, the field is getting set. And we were going to take you now down, and we will run you through the LSRTV starting grid. And on the pole tonight, one of those names we're going to keep an eye on, Pro Series driver Adam Gilliland in that 8 truck is on the pole with a 29.588 to his outside. Will be that 97 Alex Monteferrante, second place finish last week. He will roll off in that second spot. Third on the grid tonight, the 51 of Justin Fuller. Chase Cabry will start in that 4th spot, and rounding out the top 5, that's the 56 of Dustin Lingert.
16 of Alan Cryer is going to start 6th. Parker Kligerman in that 07 starts 7th. Alan J. Elwood in that number 5 is going to start 8th. 9th place is going to go to Dave Krikorian in that 66. And J.D. Laird in the 23 is going to round out your top 10.
RSR veteran in the 20, Chad Coleman's going to roll off 11th. 12th goes to Tyler Dalton. Mitchell Hunt will start in that 13th spot. 14th goes to Corey Doozer. Bentley Glazer will round out to top 15.
16th position is going to go to that 91 Dewey Woods, your winner from Daytona. So in iRacing, the only winner for the ASCORS Truck Series. 17th is going to go to that 99 of Tommy Ryan. Mason Baker in the 18th position. Byron Daly in 19th. And Stephen O'Rourke in 3 and 20th.
Leighton Sybil will start in that 21st spot. 22nd goes to Michael Guest. Brent Sweet will roll off 23rd. 24th goes to Richard Beasley. Garrett Smithley will start 25th. 26th starting spot tonight. I'm going over Gabe is the 52 of Davey Scoville. Lewis Calderon will start 27th. 28th goes to Scott Mitten. James Craig Taylor will start in the 29th spot, and rounding out 30 will be Justin Weaver.
Well, Eddie, I guess I'll just go ahead and take care of the rest of the field. 28 of Jason Atchison is going to start 31st. One of the admins. He's not going to be racing, but he's in that 000 DJ Lion in the 32nd position, so he'll drop to the back after the green flag. The 12 and Paul Cooper in that 33rd position. Rich Jett in the 7 and 34th. James Shipman, John Wilco, and Robert Fitzpatrick round out your 37 truck field.
Oh, we got quite a field here tonight. Everybody getting set, ready to do it. Pretty good qualifying times, I believe, by all. Within a tenth of each other, all the way down to 19th place. So a lot of speed, a lot of competition, like we talked about here. And just a smidge of a bobble on your qualifying lap could be the difference from pole and 19th place. So I think we're in for a real treat here tonight as the trucks get set to embark on Atlanta Motor Speedway. Like we said, 124 laps here in tonight's event, a little bit over 180 miles on the docket for the event. And why not get it set underway for the second race of the season right here at Atlanta. You see all the field getting all stacked up, ready to go, and I want to welcome everybody that's tuning in right here on LSRTV and, of course, iRacing Live, and welcome to the SegPay ASCOR Trucks round number 2 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. very early in the racing season, but a lot is on the line tonight. Pace car down and away. Green flag. It's in the hands of Adam Gilliland. He's going to lead the field to the green. A pretty good start as they get out to turn number 1. Justin Fuller trying to clear that second spot of Alex Monteferrante, and he will as they get into 1.
At 51, Mikasuki Toyota gets clear, and now he's going to go after the 8 of Adam Gilliland. He got a great start there off the pace car pulling in, and he was able to jump out in front. But that 51 of Justin Fuller, he's coming back strong, and he's going all over that back bumper trying to get a run.
That he is. Obviously, these drivers going to try to take advantage of the fresh tires early in the green flag run. We talk about the fall off of the tires so many times when we come to Atlanta Motor Speedway. So when you have the fresh ones, this is where you're going to see some guys really start to make some bold moves. You see that third spot now get taken away. Chase Cabry trying to work his way up there. He's going to get 2 for 1 there off of the corner number 2. Put him up into that second spot as it gets by Justin Fuller and Lingard. They all in one corner right there. Lingard actually going to fall back a couple more spots back into that 6th spot as they run right now. Off of turn number 4, though, here comes the 37 now. Excuse me, the 07 of Parker Kligerman looking to make a run. Now, that's one name you're going to hear all over NASCAR week long and every weekend. And that's one guy we're obviously going to have to keep an eye on here tonight.
Yeah, he's famous on NBC for putting in the simulator work, and we see it here because he is absolutely killing through the field, starting at 7th outside the top 5. Great run for him so far.
He pushes up a little bit on the entry at turn number 3, opens the bottom side to Alex Monteferrante. Looks like it only took him a couple laps as the battle for the lead now heats up. Chase Cabry looking to that inside. He's got the preferred line now. Got the preferred line there on Adam Gilliland. He will take that spot, pull out a couple truck lengths now as they exit turn number 2. Here comes Monteferrante now to the inside of Gilliland. He's looking for that second spot as the battle continues. All through these top 4 or 5 guys continues to heat up as they swap positions lap after lap.
Adam Gilliland could continuing to slide back to that 07 that Parker Kligerman gets on the inside of the trioval. Yeah, that outside lane is just not working so far. It'll be interesting to see once that rubber gets up there if anybody wants to venture up there. But so far, these are the only guys inside the top 10 riding side by side. And there goes Adam Gilliland again. He's going to get attacked by, looks like the 56. Yeah, that's the 56 Dustin Lingard. So he's door to door with him as they go through turn 3. But he's going to get the run there on the inside and get clear of him by the time they get to 4.
Yeah, without the rubber on the top side, unable to get any sort of grip on the top side is Adam Gilliland. He's going to lose another spot right there. So he loses 4 of them awfully quick right there, drops back to that 5th position as Lingard. Now, as a couple laps get on these tires, they get heated up. He's able to make up some ground as well. He gets around Parker Kligerman before the exit of turn number 3. He starts to pull away, but Monteferrante has caught up with Chase Cabry as that battle's going to start heating up for that first spot. We look at closer to the top 10 there. Also, Justin Fuller started 3rd. He's back to that 8th, 9th spot right now. He's battling hard with the 36 of Bentley Glazer. They're battling for that position on the racetrack. That is for 9th place right now. And you got the 66, of course, of David Krikorian right behind him. He's going to make little work of that 51 as well. Justin Fuller continuing to fall. He's going to go all the way down to the 11th spot after starting 3rd.
Yeah, it looks like he just couldn't get to that inside lane in the first couple laps, and he was able just to fall back as soon as a couple of these cars got by him. The 97, I think, was the first person to put him there on the outside. And looks like we're going to go 3 wide. They think better of it as they come through the trioval. But these guys racing very hard, Andy. And like I said, you can see this in the first 10 or 15 laps, and then everybody gets... These guys are driving as they're 3 wide coming off the exit of turn 2. Got to get the names on those drivers.
At a 74, Michael Guest looked like he got a little loose there on that bottom side of turn number 2. He's going to be the one that ends up backing out of that Tyler Dalton in the 19 truck now side by side with the 60 of Byron Daly. That's another name started way in back in the field. Byron Daly going to be one of those Pro Series drivers that we're going to have to keep an eye on as he works his way up through the field right now. Started 19th, up to 15th already. He's one of those guys right now utilizing that outside lane. He's looking to make his way around Mason Baker now as they head back into turn number 3. So a lot of action going around behind these guys too. Is just a note, Chase Cabry up at the front of the field has started to at least subside the push that Alex Monteferrante was trying to get up to him now. He's lost a couple tenths over the last couple of laps. So the battle up front has kind of quieted down right now, but it's not quiet around this 15th spot as they're 2 rows deep, 2 by 2 right now, trying to make their way around the 16 of Alan Cryer. And look at that 60 machine just on the outside. Byron Daly. He's the only one so far, Gabe, that has really tested the outside lane. And he's the only one that's been able to make it work so far.
Yeah, it looks like he's got one more truck behind him, but yeah, he's been the only one to really make it work consistently. It looks like that's the 74, Michael Guest, but at 60 of Byron Daly, he's passed about 3 cars there on the outside, and just using that momentum to carry him around. And it looks like the 20 of Chad Coleman's also going to be a victim, as he's going to try and push up. And, that's one thing, you kind of have to use that outside lane coming off turn 2 and turn 4 to make that corner work with the arc, and Byron Daly's taking advantage of that and just taking it away from these guys.
Yeah, 10 laps into it, he's already up 6 spots now as they work their way down the tri-oval in the front stretch. Complete lap number 11. That goes up on the board right now. Continuing to get the job done. The top 3, though, all the way from the 56 of Dustin Langer up to Chase Cabry in that first spot there, have really pulled away from that 4th spot. Parker Kligerman right now running 4th. And part of that reason being is they're battling side by side pretty hard right now. They got the 29 of Corey Doozer trying to get around him. He does make that pass there in the middle of the corner, but it looks like Parker Kligerman's not done as he pulls right back up to that rear deck lid. But there's some pretty good battling right there inside the top 10. You got a couple rows 2 wide deep right there as well. The 36, Bentley Glazer involved too, as we're on board now with the 29 of Corey Doozer. Sits in that 4th spot, just got around Parker Kligerman. Now he's going to try to set his sights out. He's got 3.5 seconds now to make up on the race leaders if he wants any chance at all to get up to them, at least on this first run. This is that point, though, Gabe, we talked about 13 laps. We're going to complete right here. It's about 15 or so. You're going to really start seeing these tires start to fall off, and I think that's where you're going to really start seeing these guys start to pull up through the field. And one of those guys, as we mentioned before, was that 60 Byron Daly, up to the 11th spot now after starting 19th. So he's going to be one as well as these tires start to wear off. But this battle's going on really nicely for around this 6th spot right now. Parker Kligerman leading that little train, but the 8th there, Adam Gilliland, after starting on a pole, he's dropped back to that 6th spot. He's in threat of losing another spot right now to Mitchell Hunt.
Yeah, Andy, another guy using that outside lane. We saw the 5 of Alan Elwood using it too, but he jumped to the inside behind the 8 of Alan Gilliland. But that 71, Mitchell Hunt, he's passed 2, and looks like he's going to be 3 cars as 29 pushes up the racetrack, keeps it off the wall. But he's going to push him down the back straightaway. That 71 is really working. I think he's working it even better than Byron Daly. Just he's been able to make it work, and we're going to be 3 wide. 29 pushes up the racetrack. That's going to force the 71's hand to move to the middle lane of the racetrack. Andy, we're really aggressive, and the 29 cuts it down again, gets into the wall, and that's going to stack up the guys behind him.
Yeah, good heads-up driving right there by Mitchell Hunt in that 71, and the 5, of course, of Alan Elwood. Both of them able to get off the throttle just enough right there to avoid any sort of contact with Corey Doozer. Doozer now going to fall back a couple of spots. Look at Mitchell Hunt now from 13th. He's making up a couple more spots now as he works his way up into that 5th spot, trying to take now away the 4th spot from Parker Kligerman as these guys run. But they keep the way they're battling, all this side-by-side action, still continuing them to fall back from our race leaders, now 4 seconds back of the race lead. So these guys are paddling hard, and all these positions matter. But they also, at the same time, on this first run, I think it gives these drivers the opportunity to really see how this truck's going to handle over the course of the long run, as we've been clean and green right now for 17 laps. And here we go is Parker Kligerman. He's going to push up to the top sides. It looks like we got somebody sliding through the grass. Looks a little further back in the field right now, but we'll see if we cannot get a replay up. It might have been the 23 truck of J.D. Laird that had some problems coming off of turn number 4. And that truck right there, it is him. He got loose coming off of turn number 4. That is J.D. Laird. And just flat out got loose off of turn 4. And we talk about the guys getting loose as these tires start to wear off. Gabe, as the replay goes up on your screen, you can just see just flat out lost it by himself. Ends up able to keep that thing straight, which is hard to do when you start going through the grass, but he was able to do that, keep it straight, get back up onto the racing surface.
Andy, he's not the only one having troubles. The 07 of Parker Kligerman got pushed to the outside by the 8 of Alan Gilliland, so Gilliland's trying to make work his way back up front. But the 07, I saw it in turn 3, and here we go again. Man, he's just, breaking loose. That rear end's just getting a little bit squirrely, and I think that's the sign of these tires getting away from him.
Yeah, it all dictates exactly how hard you push it in the opening 10 to 15 laps of a run. The more you push it, obviously, the quicker the tires are going to start to wear off. And we talk about it's kind of a fine line, Gabe. You got the fresh tires. And we'll look at that as we look at these guys up in the front, the top two drivers. They kind of got together a little bit, not contact-wise, but as they were making their way around the lap truck, the number 3 had allowed Monteferrante to get back up to Chase Cabry. But we talk about it's a fine line to run. How hard do you push it with those fresh tires in that first 10 to 15 laps, and you end up...
Oh, 39's loose. 39's loose coming off turn 2. 97's going to take the lead.
That was a great move right there to avoid the slip-up. A good job by hanging onto that thing by Chase Cabry, but he's going to give that spot up. The new race leader now, Alex Monteferrante, looking to get that win that was taken away from him last week on a rule, and look at him now taking that lead, and he's going to push the envelope here and actually pull out about 4 or 5 truck lengths now, as it looks like Chase Cabry. Once you get these tires hot and you get them like he was there off turn number 2, it's really hard for them to come back and really keep the grip under them, as you see Dustin Lingert now get up to that back bumper of the 39. Try to take that second spot away from him. It looks like Monteferrante battling some looseness too as he exits turn number 4. So everybody's starting to battle that now. And Gabe, I talk about it with the tires and how hard to push it in those first 10 to 15 laps. It's one of the, as a race car driver, you've got so much confidence that the tires got grip that it's not hard, I guess, to push it early in the run like that, and then you end up paying for it now, like we see the 39 truck.
And everybody's battling loose. 39 at Chase Cabry, he is absolutely in a war with it, because every time he just lets off the gas or even turns that car just a little bit, it breaks loose and he's having to catch it. He is like, and I think, that's how he pulled out that big of a lead. He was about a second in front, maybe, or just below that whenever he encountered that lap traffic. And I guess that slowdown and him having to race the 97 kind of exposed those tires. And here comes that 56. Look up here. He's caught him, and he's about 2 truck lengths away from him, and he's going to get loose right there. A couple times hitting those bumps through turns 3 and 4, but he's going to collect it, and he's coming, Andy.
Yeah, they say a loose race truck is fast, but not when you're wrecking loose. So right now, a lot of these guys battling that issue right now is just flat out being so conscious of trying to hang on to the thing right now. So we work lap number 25, and we're at that point probably about 10 laps or so away from a pit stop as we see the battle for the lead. Now, the 56, although he was up there maintaining distance with those top 2 guys, he was probably the one saving the tires out of those 3, really not pushing the issue early on. And you can see Dustin Lingert now starting that 5th spot. We got another car in the grass. Cautions out on the speedway. Looks like it was a little too slow going on the front straightaway there. Not sure exactly who that was, but we'll check it out. We'll get that replay up to you. So first caution of the night coming on lap number 26 here, and 124 laps are scheduled in the distance of this race, but it looks like the 18 of Mason Baker was the one going through the it looks like Doy Woods actually might have been the cause of the caution. I see a lot of smoke coming from that 91 truck, so hopefully we can get a replay up. And it's up right now as we see him, and he's just racing hard, and just the looseness of the truck right there got him on the entrance. Kind of an interesting spot to get loose. Entrance of turn number 3. You can see the truck start to break out from him. Tries to correct it, overcorrects it out into that outside wall, and fortunate for everybody behind him, he is the only one involved in that. So one truck already having some issues as far as the looseness is concerned, and pit road will be open. I'm sure these leaders are anxious to get some tires on that race truck right now, and that was a pretty good run. I think we were really looking probably about a 30 to 35 lap run anyway as far as tires were concerned, so we're right about that point. Pit road is open this time, and Alex Monteferrante will lead the field. Everybody coming to pit road, and there's no I don't think any guess at all involved in what's going to be going on in these pit stops, Gabe.
I'm gonna see, no tires, and maybe these guys won't even take fuel. They may just come down and fool these guys, Andy. Insert sarcasm. it's gonna be all 4 tires here on pit road. The one thing to look for is anybody misses their pit stalls, and Ada Allen Gilliland almost misses it, but he's able to pull in there just on the threshold. So looks like everybody's perfectly in their pit stalls from what I can see, at least on the first half of pit road.
Yep, jack stands all going down. Pretty good jump. Oh, look at that off of pit road. The 71 of Mitchell Hunt. What a great stop by him and his crew. And you see Alex Monteferrante actually going to fall back. It looks like about the 5th spot coming off of pit road. So a slow stop for that 97 on the pit lane. And that's going to affect him, obviously, coming in first, coming out in that 5th spot. But a great stop by the 71, Mitchell Hunt. They were on the mark on that one.
Well, I think he was on the mark. These pit stops, there's a little bit variation in them, depending on, just a random draw, really. But how aggressively you attack your pit stall can really, change where you end up on the end of pit road. And I guess Monteferrante just kind of gingerly went into his pit stall to make sure he didn't miss it. And the 71, Mitchell Hunt absolutely attacked it. That's, what I believe. And it ends up paying off for him.
That it does. It's time, though, as we run under caution. We're going to step aside. You're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born, including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Well, welcome back here to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. Working our first caution of the evening. The field's getting ready to stack back up here, and I'm looking through the field here and the comers and goers there on pit lane, and not everybody, there wasn't any big, huge movement. I do have to want to mention the 60 of Byron Daly's up to that 8th spot, though, so I'm going to keep an eye on him on these first opening laps. But Chase Cabry, one of those guys that really, I want to say, really went for it there in that first run in the opening drop of the green flag, and he ended up, I think, paying for it around that lap 20 mark when it really showed that the tire started to fall off. He dropped back to third. He's going to restart third, though, so he didn't lose any spots as far as pit road goes, but we'll see how far he pushes it on the opening laps of this run here. So pace car ducks to the safety of pit road. Mitchell Hunt now leads the field to the green flag. He gets in the start box. Green flag goes on, and there they go. Big start on the outside, though, Justin Lingert. We saw that on the opening start of the race there on the bottom side. He was able to keep up with the leaders, made a good run for himself as far as a good restart, and you can see him right now applying the pressure to the black bumper of Mitchell Hunt as they exit turn number 2. Top 3 single file. The battle side by side right now is for that 4th spot. It's Alex Monteferrante to the inside, Gilliland on the outside.
Gilliland looking to get that push there on the outside line. He's got him by half a car length, and momentum's probably going to carry him through the tri-oval. He's going to get clear by the time they get to turn 1, so move the 8 of Alan Gilliland back into the 4th position. Here's your pole sitter, and he just got stuck on the outside lane, and he just didn't know how to run it, or there just wasn't enough rubber. But we got a battle for the lead up front. It's the 56. He's going for it on the 71 of Mitchell Hunt.
Yeah, had a pretty good run off turn number 2. Also had that 39 of Chase Cabry on his back bumper, giving him a push off turn 2. So a good piece of racing right there off of turn number 2. That's going to give Lingert this lap lead here on lap number 33. He's going to pull himself away clear now as they enter turn number 1. The battle for second, short-lived. Chase Cabry now
3 wide.
Gets around. They're 3 wide just behind him there. Gilliland actually pushes up in the middle of the turn, goes way up the racetrack. Parker Kligerman able to get around him on that middle. Use these fresh tires. Why he's got him. He's going to pull out to the lead now. a truck length clear of Lingard as they exit turn number 4.
Well, I don't know, Andy. Every driver wants to get to the lead, and now he's got it. We should see him build, just a little bit of a comfortable lead, and if he can do it, and pull away from these guys, and then just see him kind of back off and just let it ride. We saw him just, gradually just increase his lead, and that was his hard running. So we should see him just pull away if he can, like I said, and then kind of conserve his stuff. But he's not been able to pull away from the 56 or the 97.
No, obviously, draft does come into play here at Atlanta for the Truck Series, and they use that momentum. It's a momentum-based type of truck, the package, the setup as far as keeping your speed up through the center of the corner and then, of course, off the corner. And by doing that, you can really pick up some huge runs with the draft coming off of these corners. And for the 97, he did just that. That last lap ago gets that second spot away from Lingard. Is Lingard now going to lose the third spot to Alan Elwood? Elwood now to that third spot in that 5 truck. He's doing a real good job here in this opening run as well.
Yeah, he picked up 2 positions on one lap a couple laps ago, and went from 7th to 5th, and now he's up to the third now, and he's on the back bumper to that 97. He's going to use that outside lane not to defend or, on the outside lane of somebody. He's just going to use it when he's got free track below him, so he must be comfortable running up there.
Yeah, we saw only a few of them really in that first green flag run we had use that top side to their advantage. One of those, obviously, to keep in mind was Byron Daly. He is also one of those that likes to save his tires there at the beginning part of the run. He restarted 8th. He's dropped all the way to that 12th spot. So just being on the outside really didn't help him at all in the restart either. So we'll see Byron Daly probably try to pick away some of these as the Gilliland also has fallen back after restarting in the top 4. He's back to that 11th spot right now too. So it shows on the restarts the outside lane is definitely not the place to be, as we got a pretty good battle for that second spot. It's short-lived, but here goes that 5 truck now. Elwood now to the second spot. He gets around Alex Monteferrante. He's going to be trying to chase Cabry now as they head back into turn number 1. The top 5, 6, 7 guys now single file.
Couple of exchanges for position. That 5 of Elwood gets around the 97 of Monteferrante, and 51 Mikasuki Toyota of Justin Fuller gets around the 66 of David Krikorian. So, and that 51, he's going for the 56 too, right on the back bumper of the 97 of Monteferrante. So that 51's got some speed under his truck, but he's just going to have to watch those tires. And you said the 39 of Chase Cabry didn't learn. It looks like he has, because he's not pulling away with basically the same cars behind him.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted that lead. And as a leader, you can almost dictate the speed of the race as well as. Especially if you're running the line these guys want. As you see the 5 now, Elwood looking for the race lead. He's going to pull to the inside now as they battle into turn number 3. A couple of close calls right there with 51 and 56. Cabry's going to fall back in line, get into that second spot. But here comes Justin Fuller. Qualified third, fell back on that initial start. He's climbed his way back up into the top 3 now as they run into turn number 1. Side by side, that's Krikorian in the 66. He's side by side with the 56, a Langer right now, and off of turn number 2, it looks like the top side is going to have the advantage. Krikorian, he's going to hang tough, though, on that bottom side. We talk about it early in the run, start of the green flag run. Bottom side's the place to be, but it looks like as the laps start to tick away and the tires wear off, we're going to have to keep an eye on those guys that really like that high side. And so far, it's been good for a few of them as they run right now. And they cross the line again. Parker Klickerman, one of those guys that had been using the top side. He is using the top side, kind of a high entry. Then he drops down to the bottom, especially in 1 and 2. But we got to keep an eye on Bentley Glazer, the 60 of Byron Daly. Those two are ones that like to use that high side right now. Is the 71. Look at Mitchell Hunt. Just drop to the inside. He'll push that 66 up to the top side. He'll make that stick right there, give him another position. That'll move him up to that 5th spot now.
Well, Andy, I think the reason the tires, once they fall off that inside lane, kind of loses its value is through turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that bottom lane right there next to the apron, it's very, very bumpy. So these guys, they just don't have the grip to kind of hold it down there the way they could on the first couple laps. So, I think that's what we're seeing, and we even saw out up front with the guys on the back end of that long green flag run, the 39 and the 97. They were all battling loose. The cars would hop over those bumps and they'd get loose on those old tires.
Yeah, the lack of grip with the bumps definitely comes into play later in the run. Battle for that 3rd spot right now. Chase Cabry trying to hang on to it. Dustin Linger trying to get that top side. He's going to get his nose cut off there. Look to the inside now with the huge run off of turn number 2. That's going to put Cabry on that high side. He's going to try to hang on to it. They almost made contact right there. That's going to slow the 39 up just a bit. He's going to lose another spot to Mitchell Hunt, move Mitchell Hunt up to that 4 spot now. As they're still side by side right behind him, Monteferrante on the outside, and he's doing a good job trying to hold off Parker Kligerman. Kligerman, though, going to take the advantage of the speed going into turn number 1. He'll try to hang on to that spot as they exit turn 2. Here comes the 97 trying to battle back hard. Just ahead of them, too, Cabry still on the back bumper of the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. So all these guys just trying to figure out basically how things are going to play out. And in the meantime, the battle for the lead heats up as well as Justin Fuller is caught up to Elwood. He's knocking on the door right now going into turn 1.
He's knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell. He's about to break down that front door as he's going to try it coming out of turn 2. He's got a fender off of their door-to-door there coming off of turn 2. We're going to have a new leader hopefully by the time we get to the start-finish line through turn 3. He's going to dive it down. Will that outside lane prevail? 51 of Fuller gets clear, so we've got a new leader. Look for the crossover from that 5. Not going to happen as he's going to use that outside lane to try and get around, but the 51 takes the lead on lap 46.
So a new leader here in the race, lap 47, as they work that right now. Exit turn number 2. Here comes 71 now to battle back for that second spot. He finds himself door-to-door now with Elwood down the back straightaway, and he's got a fender in front now. He's going to battle for the lead and try to take 2 of them here in half a lap. The 71, Mitchell Hunt, looking for the race lead off turn 4.
2 laps, 2 leaders. 71 Mitchell Hunt takes back that lead. He started first and slid back to around the back half of the top 10. Looks like his car really works after a couple of laps. This is about when we saw him making his run up to the front on that first green flag run. So I think this is his sweet spot. Everybody else is, kind of running hard there in the first couple laps after the restart. That 71 saves his stuff, and he's got a fast car after a couple laps.
Yeah, well, definitely that's something we know, obviously, is how hard you run those first 10 or 15 laps. And we saw him fall back on that opening start there. Everyone wanted to get around him. He went to the top side, just said, go ahead and have it. And he did that, and then now he takes the lead and takes about a half a second, maybe more, as these guys for second place are hard charging and hard fighting here. 2 by 2 they were coming off of turn number 2. Elwood's going to come out the victor in that little battle right now as he pulls out ahead of these 2, give him that 3rd spot. Chase Cabry still trying to fight back every position. It's been tough for him to make the passes, but he's been getting the job done on that bottom side, which has been kind of a tough spot to do it as the run goes on. And Chase Cabry going to move into that spot. He's going to take it. Here comes the 56 of Lingert now. He's looking for that bottom side. He's going to take it away from Justin Fuller. He was going to look low on inside Chase Cabry. He blocked him, though, coming off of turn number 3. He saved that position, broke the momentum up of the 56.
Elwood, Cabry, and Fuller, 3-car battle here for the 3rd position. The 51 of Justin Fuller pushes up. That's going to allow the 07 and the 97 of Monteferrante and Parker Kligerman to get by. Monteferrante is not clear, and he's going to have a race for that position, but the 51 backs off. And we're side by side again, and that 39 gets loose. They're coming off of turn 2, and that's going to drop him down to the inside. The 56 going to take that position. He's going to dive it into turn 3. Can he get him? He's got a fender on him, so he's side by side there for that 2nd position. A little bit of connection issues, at least from what I'm seeing, but he's got a fast car. The 51 of Fuller gets loose coming off of 4.
Okay. Dirt track there right there off of turn number 4. He's going to lose a ton of positions as he's got about 4 trucks wanting to get that position away from him right now. And it looks like they will do that on the exit of turn number 2. Move Byron Daly up another spot as he gets around him. So does the 8 of Adam Gilliland after falling back on the opening start there. But that battle, like we said, for that 2nd spot as Mitchell Hunt continues to pull away, 1.1 seconds away now. Linger able to get up to the inside, I should say, of Elwood. He's got that position at the start-finish line, but the battle's not over as they head back to 1.
Battle definitely not over, and these guys racing very hard, and we've been having about 20 laps since the restart, or about 15, and tires are about to get to the point where we saw in the last run where they started to wear out. So watch that 39 and watch the rest of these guys. They haven't been able to pull out from each other except the 71 of Mitchell Hunt, but they've been racing so hard it's basically the same type of tire wear, and as that 39 goes for the 4th position, as we got a caution at the perfect moment.
Yes, caution coming out again. It looks like we're running about those 50. It looks like the 63 of Garrett Smithley, the cause of the caution of 25. Also looks like he's slow on the front stretch. So we'll just try to get a replay up for you. But it looks like the SegPay Chevy Silverado right there having some issues off of turn number 4. And it was a pretty good battle with the 3 truck on the inside. That's Steve O'Rourke, and got into turn number 3. And then the 19 just really, the closing rate was so much getting onto the 63 and put him out of shape, and he spins around, hits the wall. Looks like he hits the 25 as well. So a couple damage for Leighton Sibley too. And those 2 trucks, again, fortunate it was only 2 involved in that one right there. But our second caution of the night has come out here on lap number 53. And leaders are going to try to catch up to the pace car, and they will. Obviously, pit road will be open this time by, and they head into turn number 3. And again, I don't think we're going to have any surprises as far as what they do on this caution right here. It's going to be 4 tires, the same as everybody did on the last one. And, of course, it's pretty much the same song as the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. He's going to lead the whole field down pit road now and get his service. We'll see if his crew can get the job done again like they did last time, because he was able to come out ahead of everybody, and his crew did a great job on that last pit stop. So we'll see if we can knock that down again this time. He's going to be the first one into a stall. Looks like 4 tires, fuel. We'll get back out there and do it again.
Watch for any miscues here on pit road. Anybody having to back up. Looks like the 97, Monteferrante, misses his pit stall, so he's going to have to back up. Second time he's going to lose positions more than likely here on the pit stops. 56, looks like he's going to pull out first. That 71 of Mitchell Hunt's going to get, looks like about 3rd or 4th, as we're 3 wide coming off for the second position on pit road.
Well, the first go around, Mitchell Hunt, him and his crew had an outstanding stop, and now this time it's Dustin Linger going to beat everybody off of pit road right there. We're going to take a moment to take a break ourselves, and you're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Smithley Garrett Trucking, and and you're watching that right here.
Want to try that sponsor again?
Yeah, I want to try that again. Garrett Smithley Racing. You're watching all right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Ready, aim, fire.
Welcome back to the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing, LSRTV, and iRacing Live. And we're getting it done here at Atlanta. We're approaching that halfway point here, just about 4 laps away from that when they take the green flag. And we've seen a lot of comers and goers, a lot of guys moving up through the field. One of those guys, of course, at 60 of Byron Daly. He is in that 6th starting spot here on this restart. Started 19th, but he's one of those guys been utilizing that top spot all night long here, Gabe. And it's no surprise to see him up here. I really think you're going to see him fall back a little bit here on the restart, along with that 71. It seems like those two have been really kind of figured this track out, at least, to save their stuff the first 10 or 15 laps. and then to turn it on towards the end. And we've seen that with the 71 and both the 60.
Yeah, that outside lane only comes in about 15 laps into a run, and that's when we've seen these guys, the 60, the 5, the 71, all of them been able to make up their spots here. Shouldn't see anybody making a mad dash at outside lane here to begin with, and unfortunately for the 8 of Adam Gilliland, he's stuck on that outside lane yet again, so he just cannot catch a break tonight. His pace car pulls off. 56 of Dustin Lingert in the lead. He's in a control car. He's going to take off from the restart. Gets a great restart, and the 8 gets the opposite of it. He's going to hold that outside lane up about 5 rows back.
Yeah, it looks like the 5 maybe have missed a shift right there at the start-finish line. It's going to hold up the 71 of Mitchell Hunt and Byron Daly on that outside lane. Give Chase Cabry the advantage off turn number 2. He's going to get that second spot. He's going to stay low and try to take that draft away, or at least get the draft to help him, as Parker Kligerman now looking to take that third spot. Highest we've seen that 07 truck now up until this point, but that's one of those guys, veteran drivers, whether it's on the sim or in NASCAR itself. Parker Kligerman going to be one of those guys, a force to be reckoned with here before this thing is set and over with. Krkorkian now to the inside of 5 of Elwood. Elwood started second. He's going to fall back a bunch of spots as Cabry doing what he's done on all the restarts now, as the 56 might have grazed the wall off turn 2, but Cabry going for that lead once again.
Watch it again. This is the third time he's done this, taking the lead after a couple laps, and he's got a little bit of gap right now with the 56 and the 07 of Kligerman, but how far is he going to pull out? Yeah, he kind of learned a little bit because we were about the same amount of laps when we got the caution, the second caution. And he wasn't losing that many positions. The car wasn't not fighting that loose condition, so he may have learned a little bit as the 07 of Kligerman. Looks like he's going to go for that second position on the 56 of Lingert, but Lingert's going to pinch him down to the bottom of the racetrack, but the 07 shoves it in there, and we're going to be side by side for the second position. Looks like Kligerman's going to get clear by the time they get to turn 1, so move that 07 to second.
Yeah, good bonsai move, I call it right there, by Parker Kligerman. Obviously in total control of that vehicle, though. Takes that second spot away. He's going to bring along that 29 machine of Corey Doozer, who we talked about up in the front of the field early on. Had made his way all the way from that 14th spot. Kind of fell back a little bit there as the tires started to wear off on that last run. And again, that's what we saw from Chase Cabry as well, too, is he gets this lead awfully quickly here.
Contact.
Kligerman pushes the 28 down, or 29 down into the grass there. Almost had a major collision right there, which would have cost a lot of these guys right behind him battling for position. And they're almost 3 wide right behind him there, too, as Byron Daly able to keep the momentum up. He'll get that 5th spot right now. But side by side for 3rd, we saw Cabry get to that lead like this, but then he fell back both times now so far, back to inside the top 5. He loses a couple spots, but again, he continues to lose them. I think that truck obviously really fast on the short run, but they're going to have to figure something out as this race goes on here, as the laps start to wind down. We're at the halfway point, though, so let's take a look as these guys battle for that second spot. I'm sure it's going to change a lot over the next couple minutes, but let's take a look at the LSRTV full field rundown, the midway race break right now, powered by iRacing.com. Chase Cabry, he's got that top spot right now. Parker Kligerman drops back one more spot. He'll be in the 3rd spot. Dustin Lingert up to fourth place right now. We got the 60 of Byron Daly. Elwood is 5th. 6th goes to Corey Doozer. Alex Monteferrante is in that 7th spot. 8th is Mitchell Hunt. 9th goes to David Krikorian, and Chad Coleman sits 10th.
11th, Adam Gilliland falls back from that pole position in 11th. 51, Justin Fuller in 12th. Saw him lead about 1 lap and get overtaken. So hard racing. He's in that 12th position. Richard Beasley in the 10 and 13th. 14th right now is Michael Guest. Jesse Atchison in the 15th position. 16 goes to the Stephen O'Rourke machine. That 3 truck subject to change again as Alan Cryer moves down to the 17th position in the 16. David Scoville in the 52 is in 18th. 19th, J.D. Laird and Bentley Glazer in the 20th position.
21st right now on the board is Tyler Dalton in the 19. 22nd goes to Justin Weaver. Tommy Ryan is 23rd. 24th goes to Paul Cooper. 25th is Mason Baker. John Wilco is 26th. 27th is James Shipman. Lewis Calderon is 28th. 29th, last car on the lead lap is Rich Jett. And Leighton Sybil is 1 lap down in 30th.
A couple of cars having an unfortunate night. 31 is Scott Mitten in the 50 and 31st. 1 lap down. 10 laps down. Garrett Smidley in the 63. He's one of the ones involved in the last caution we had. He's 10 laps down. 33rd goes at 16 laps down. Brent Sweet in the 59. 91, Doy Woods, your winner from Daytona, in 34th. And 35th, the last car to take the green flag, is the 46 of James Craig Taylor.
And that was the iRacing.com midway race break. And for more on everything to do with sim racing, go over to iRacing.com. Get signed up today and enjoy all the action and do it yourself. Get on the racetrack. But we look at the front runners right now as they run, and that 60 truck, no surprise, has used that outside since the drop of this green flag. Now he's pulled up to that back bumper of Chase Cabry, and I think he's about to put him to school right now as they go into turn number 3, and he's going to look to that high side now, pull up alongside, lose a little bit of ground there, but the momentum off the corner is going to really put that 60 right there on the back bumper of Chase Cabry. He's going to go down to the bottom to protect that bottom side right now, but not surprised to see that 60 machine of Byron Daly up to that second spot.
Oh, yeah, he said take the 39 to school. He's going to show him some iRacing Pro Series and Peak Antifreeze Series moves, because once he gets around him or once he gets side by side, he's going to see some stuff he's never seen before, or at least not that well done, because he is going to absolutely, just pull some moves that put him into those series. In that 60, he's worked his way up from the 19th starting position, basically using that outside lane, and he's going to try and do it on the outside lane again to take the lead.
That he will. Just a note, an update on the 56 of Dustin Linger. Was having some connection issues, and race control had told him to pull aside and let these guys go by so it wouldn't cause any issues as far as them racing around him now. As Byron Daly, what a run he had right there going into turn number 3. He's going to look to take over that top spot right now, as it looks like his teammate right behind him in the 07, that's Parker Kligerman. Both of them are going to take advantage of Chase Cabry on the high side there, and now they're going to battle it out side by side for the race lead as they head into turn 1.
Parker Kligerman, Byron Daly, both legendary names in the iRacing server, and Kligerman, great name in the real racing NASCAR ranks, as the 60 pulls a crossover going out of turn 2 and into 3. 60 of Byron Daly, like I said, pull some moves that we haven't seen yet, crossovers, and that nice move he put on the 39 to take the lead, but that outside lane's going to carry Kligerman to the line this time.
That it is. Give Parker Kligerman that lap lead right there on lap number 73, and the two teammates doing battle up front. Teammates are not. They're battling hard for every spot. Every spot on the racetrack course counts. Look at Cabry now trying to fight back to the inside of Byron Daly. Had a huge run off of turn number 2. He's going to get there to the inside, but I really think that 60 truck is just way too strong on the outside for Chase Cabry as he starts to push up the racetrack there. The 60 going to get the momentum. He's going to keep that up right now. They're going to look to go maybe 3 wide here. It's getting close to that there for the race lead side by side, at least for now, for the second spot. Byron Daly. As the bottom side checks up a little bit there. Looks like Kligerman checked up a little bit there in the center of the corner. That's going to open it up here. A little loose. Almost 3 wide now for the race lead. Heading back into turn number 3. Kligerman going to hold the edge for now.
Cabry gave him a huge shot there in 1 and 2, and that got the 07 loose. Basically, that O'Cora, he's going to shove the 60 up the racetrack. The 5 is going to have to check up, gets in the back of Byron Daly. That whole line just had to check up because the 07 pulled a slide job there on him on the exit of 4.
Yeah, I don't think he had any choice as far as the slide job was concerned. Look at Cabry with the power move on the bottom side there. He's going to get that position, get the race lead back now. They're side by side for that third spot, but looks like Parker Kligerman going to hang on to second. Look at that 71, though. We talk about him falling back at the beginning of the runs, but look at him now showing his speed side by side for third, but he's coming in a hurry.
50 laps to go here. We passed it last time by, and these guys racing as hard as they did on lap 1. I shouldn't expect to see that to change, and they'll throw a lap car into that 1 lap car coming up on the field. He's going to pull down to the apron. That's the 25 of Leighton Sylvie, so he's going to pull out of the way. The leader, smart move by him, let these guys race it, and that's his only job really once he gets a lap down, just to not be a factor in that 71. Oh, whoa. Big wreck on the front straightaway.
Contact the 5 of Alan Elwood in the it looked like the 60 of Byron Daly, just slight contact there. Byron Daly might have pushed up a little bit on the exit of turn number 4 there. We'll get the replay up to you as soon as we can. And that takes out 3 of our top guys right there. But it looked like the 60 and the 07, they heated those tires up so much over the racing they were doing the last 5 or so laps there that they were real loose right there going through 3 and 4. And Daly got a little loose, pushed up the racetrack, got into the 5, but then, of course, that put him into Parker Kligerman there. And all 3 of those trucks having some pretty extensive damage right now on their vehicles here. It doesn't look like it's race-ending damage, but it's definitely something that's going to hurt them. It's going to put them in the back of the field. I'm sure they can make up a few spots over the course of the rest of this race here, but that caution, of course, comes out on lap number 77. The field, though, again, pit road's open. They're all coming down pit road. They're led by Chase Cabry this time. The 71 on 71 on Mitchell Hunt going to hit his pit stall first from the top 3, and looks like everybody in the top 3, 4, 5 all made it into their pit stall perfectly right there. 4 tires and fuel. Again, no difference or any kind of strategy as far as that's concerned when you come to Atlanta. It's you got to have all 4. You're not going to have a shot at all. And pretty good battle off pit road, but it looks like Cabry's going to win it.
Cabry wins it by a nose. Going back to that wreck, the 60 of Byron Daly, looks like it was part tires and part the way he was exiting turn 4. It looks like he jumped the seam there if there is one. I haven't driven Atlanta in a long time, but it looks like he jumped the seam, just trying to get on the inside of the 07 Kligerman, and that just got his car loose enough to where he jumped in front of the 5.
Yeah, like I said, for all 3 of those trucks, obviously some major damage, but it doesn't look like any significant engine damage. No, neither one of them were smoking right there after that, so they can get some work done on pit road and get those trucks somewhat back into race shape and try to possibly get themselves back into contention. Looks like Byron Daly down a lap, though, as he's on pit road, and a couple of these other guys are going to be close as far as that's concerned as well. And so far, the carnage, we've had 3 cautions here in this race. It hasn't been too much. It's definitely been the biggest one so far, taking out 3 of our race leaders. We're going to step aside for a quick moment. We're going to go nonstop, though, as we've crossed that halfway point here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. We welcome you back here at LSRTV's exclusive coverage on iRacing Live with the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. And Atlanta has been that type of a racetrack. We've seen it here tonight. 3 cautions now on the night, and all of them been right there at the end of the run, right where the tires are really given up on these race trucks. And we see kind of a trend going here as the field gets ready to get back underway. Chase Cabry going to lead them back to the green flag. We are underway. Pretty good jump out of top 6, 7 drivers right now as they race their way into turn number 1. And we got 44 laps left to go in tonight's event. So we're approaching that point, Gabe, where we can make it on about one more stop, especially for tires. So these guys all obviously in the back of their mind as well. So as we race back down into turn number 3, that second spot, it's up for grabs. Monteferrante's to the inside. Mitchell Hunt, though, he's going to be able to survive for the time being. He's going to drop down in that third spot. Look at that 56, Dustin Lingard, after falling back on that last run there. He's back up in the top 5 and looking to do battle. Same with the 8, Adam Gilliland, having trouble all race long because he just keeps starting on that outside lane. And it looks like now he's actually going to catch a break here and be able to drop in front of Chad Coleman in that 20 truck, and at least for the time being, put him in that top 5.
3 wide down the back straightaway. Looks like the 3, the 20, and those guys racing hard. Looks like the 20 just lost some momentum coming off of 2. But, yeah, Andy, you were talking about making it with one more stop. Doing my calculations, these guys next scheduled caution about lap 100 because it seems like every 20 laps we get a perfectly timed caution right before these guys need to make green flag pit stops. So if that remains true, we're good to go to the end with a restart with about lap 20 to go.
It'll work out perfectly if it goes that way. Sometimes it almost ends up like it's scripted that way as we watch these battles going on the racetrack, especially up front. Michael Guest just made his way around Adam Gilliland, moved him up a couple more spots, and finds himself now in that 5th spot as they're side-by-side for 7th now. And that 8 truck still continuing to struggle. Goes way up to that high side. He's going to get passed by 2 trucks. Look at the 3 into the wall. He pushed it hard. Stephen O'Rourke on the exit of turn number. Oh, and he makes some contact with some other cars trying to get out of the way there. Oh, we do have contact. The 5 and the 18, they're spinning down on the backstretch going into turn number 3. We stay green for the time being, but that all started up towards the front of the track, and the guys towards the back are the ones paying the price.
How lucky did these guys up front get? Because the 5 of Alan Elwood was sitting right next to the track on the apron in turns 3 and 4. So if he was a foot above, we'd be under caution right now.
Unbelievable right there, but some hard racing right there with the 3 trying to get around Gilliland. He pushed the issue there, went up the racetrack, cut the nose off of the 8, but at the same time gets himself trouble into the wall. We talked about that during the pre-race, that turn 2 can be that type of place where you feel so confident through the corner that you got it and you're on that throttle, and then that truck just pushes right up to the top side. It's exactly what happened there. We look at your race leaders right now, a little bit of a gap right now, about 5-6 truck lengths right now, and about the same back to third to the 56 machine of Dustin Lingard, who's got his mirror full right now with the 74. Michael Guest, he's looking to the inside. He's looking for that 3rd spot now as they race their way back into turn number 1.
He's trying to go for it, and looks like he's going to get it as the 56 just kind of gets out of his way. Good to see that 56 get back up front. Dustin Lingard, he had to fall in the back with connection issues, but seems to have got them solved, and whoever was using the Wi-Fi, they've gotten off it now because he's working his way back up front.
That's one of those things you start yelling, get out, shut your phone off, shut your iPad off, do whatever you got to do. I'm in the middle of a race, I'm doing well, so whatever it was, you got to figure it out right now. And the speed obviously hasn't left that truck of the 56 right now. And you're looking at another driver right behind him, Mitchell Hunt, one of those guys that we've seen every single restart, drop back a few spots, conserves his stuff. 10, 15 laps into a run, you really start to see Mitchell Hunt start pulling towards the front of the pack. Right now, Chase Cabry, though, continuing to lead. He's been the guy to lead the most laps so far here tonight. He's been doing a real good job staying up front and taking that race lead every single restart we've had.
Yeah, doing a really good job of that, Andy. Depending on when if we get a caution or if these guys make green flag pit stops, we should get about, what would you say, about maybe 20 laps to go. How hard would these guys drive? Would they just drive flat out, or could try and save it if we've got some running? Take it if it's green flag pit stops, these guys are going to be spread out. They're going to be racing hard. But if we get a caution, are they going to lay back on the restart and just kind of let it ride for a couple laps, or are they just going to ride it flat out?
Well, if they're going to restart, obviously, around that 20-lap mark, I think it's all out from there. I don't think you can even remotely think of the tire wear or save your stuff for the first 10 or 15 laps when it comes to that, because flat out then you're going to literally just run out of time. And and that's exactly what you don't want right now. Chase Cabry continuing to lead right now. Lap number 91, we're working that one right now as they go into turns number 1 and 2, and Chase Cabry been able to pull away from Alex Monteferrante, at least at this beginning part of this run here. Dustin Lingert back in that 4th spot. Him and the 71 of Mitchell Hunt running a great race together right now, conserving their stuff. Behind them, though, you see that 99 truck. We haven't talked about him all night long, starting the 17th spot. That's Tommy Ryan in that Northern Tools Chevrolet, and he's one of those trucks just quietly and methodically working his way up through these positions. He's up to that 6th spot right now, and along with Justin Fuller just behind him, who just got around Bentley Glazer. Those guys have been coming up through the field, so we'll have to keep an eye on that 99, especially how he's come about here in the late going.
Yeah, Andy, I broadcast a couple of Tommy's races, and he's done well in all of them. I just, whenever I see that 99 truck in the field, I just kind of look forward to, say, the 99 of Tommy Ryan. That just kind of rolls off the tongue, and I'm glad he's up here around the top 5.
Absolutely. And we talk about the competition and the names like Byron Daly and these peak antifreeze drivers, and even Mitchell Hunt's up there, and we talk about all these guys up to the front of the pack, and then you look at guys like Chase Cabry, who's not a pro driver, who's a guy you see on other nights here in LSRTV, and we've seen him in a lot of broadcasts, mostly short tracks. He's a real good short track racer, so I really looked for him to shine next week at Martinsville as well. But for guys like him to come in here and race against these top-level iRacing drivers and to be successful at it nonetheless here, leading the most laps so far here tonight. And he's getting the job done, and it's got to be a huge, huge confidence thing for him as far as his iRacing career.
Yeah, Chase has got to love this schedule. We go to Martinsville, Iowa, and even Five Flag Speedway, and we've seen him run a couple times, I believe, there and done very well. So a couple opportunities, if not here at Atlanta, to get some wins here on the series.
Yeah, it's been a great thing to see these guys be able to mix it up like this, and I think these two leagues, as we watch the leaders closing up the gap here right now, Monteferrante starting to reel in that 39 truck here as we start to move into about that 15-lap mark of the run right now as they cross the line that time by. We're going to have about 32 laps left to go, or 28 laps left to go here in this one here. So we'll get all that done, but the race lead starting to heat up. Alex Monteferrante is looking for it now as they head back into turn number 3, and he's really closed the gap real nicely on Chase Cabry here in this middle part of this run here. And that 97, he was tough last week. He's going to be tough to beat, I think, this week too, as it looks.
And, once the 97 catches him, if he does, and they start racing side by side, look for that 74 Michael Guest, and, even the 71 to pull in just a little bit. But that 74 is going to be someone you want to look forward to getting up there. But that 97 pushes wide exiting turn 2, and he's going to lose a couple car lengths on the 39.
Yeah, he is looking maybe to push the issue right there, but I just want to take this moment to thank all of our sponsors and everybody who gets it done here for the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. SegPay, for over 10 years, SegPay has been processing online payment transactions for merchants in all categories with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are the leader in non-card present transactions and have a strong relationship with acquiring banks' credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. SegPay, of course, the proud sponsor of the ASCORS Truck Series, and of course, Garrett Smithley Racing, proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley and the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevy Camaro in the Xfinity Series of NASCAR. And of course, without all the sponsors and everybody that helps, these things don't get done. These races don't get broadcasted. These fields aren't as big as they are, and the talent, the names of the drivers you get in them aren't that as well. So a huge shout out to and thanks to everybody that helps get it done behind the scenes and on the racetrack. And on the racetrack, we got a pretty good product as well as Monteferrante. He's there. He's caught that 39 truck. Now he's got to do something with him.
A little bit of a coincidence here. We saw Garrett Smithley in that 63 not have the run he wants. He's going to make his debut for JD Motorsports in that 0 Camaro, and it's going to come right here at Atlanta this week. So, big shout out to him, and hopefully he gets it done there at Atlanta. But first we got to get done here, Andy. Like you said, these guys racing hard. We got a smoker here on the bottom. Is that the 3? I believe that's the 3 truck.
That is a 3 truck. Looks like he might have had problems off turn number 2. Maybe we can get some replay of that. But that's Stephen O'Rourke, who was actually involved in that. We'll just stay with the leaders right now as the 3 has safely made it down to pit road. But yeah, he had trouble obviously in that last caution. He was involved somewhat with that, but that truck obviously had its done right now as the leaders battling hard right now. He's all over the back bumper now. They're coming up on some lap traffic, and the lap traffic we didn't expect to see it. That 5 truck of Alan Elwood was running up in that top 5 under that last caution, was involved with it with Byron Daly and the 07 of Parker Kligerman. He's now going to go a lap down to the field and be the first car 1 lap down in that 25th spot. So Alan Elwood having a good opening part of the race and now falling back obviously now as the leaders race by him, and the leaders will now make it a race as Alex Monteferrante looks to the inside of Chase Cabri, and they battle side by side into 3.
He had a fender on him going into turn 3, and he powers it in there. He's going to slide up. That car sideways through the entirety of turn 4, and that's going to allow the 39 at Cabri to pull a slide job on him through the tri-oval and through turns 1 and 2. Side by side again. That 5 truck allowed him to not really get the run he wanted, and that 97 took advantage of it. The outside lane coming in here. He's going to have a run on the 39. He's going to get clear by the time they get to turn 3, but how hard does Chase dive it in there? Looks like he's not going to get the opportunity, so move the 97 for the first time in a while. Move him into the lead.
Move him into the top spot. Chase Cabri, though, not done yet as he gets a good run off turn number 4. He's going to stay with him now. Just 1 truck length separating the top 2 as we work lap number 104. Next time by, we're going to have 20 to go. So we're approaching that point. This is about what it's been, about 20 to 25 laps a run, and then somebody's had some issues as far as tire wear, and we've ended up with a caution 3 times now so far tonight. We'll see if these guys can keep it going, though. Otherwise, we're going to get about another probably 10 laps or so, and you'll probably see these guys on pit road. And 97 getting loose off turn number 4. Chase Cabri going back for the race lead.
And he looked back here, the 71, Mitchell Hunt, he was 9/10 back 1 lap ago, and now he's at 6/10 as these guys race side by side, and the 39 goes into the lead again. These guys, he's so much faster than these guys. The 97 pushes up and gets loose there coming off turn 2. He's right on the back bumper, Monteferrante now.
Yeah, he's been doing it run after run after run. Sets back on that first 10, 15 laps, and then you can just see the amount of tires that he saves in that first opening run. It gives him the advantage late in the going like this. The problem is, though, as we approach inside 20 to go, is if we do have a caution, then he's going to have to change his style. He can't sit back. He's got to go. So we see him right now battling for the race lead. It looks like he's going to take the inside lane here into turn number 3. Chase Cabri going to move up the racetrack, give Mitchell Hunt the race lead before they even exit turn number 4. So give that 71 back to the race lead. He gets 2 spots now within a lap, and that's going to allow him to pull away now, actually, as we run here. Obviously, now we get to that point where one more stop for these guys. Who are going to be these guys as we're inside 20? Who are going to be the ones that take the opportunity to short pit and get that advantage of the fresh tires?
Yeah, it'll be about 10 laps when these guys pit, 10 laps to go. Depending on when they pit, it's not going to be that much of an advantage or that much of a disadvantage to short pit because the tires really don't have that much time to fall off. And, I want to point out one thing, quietly working his way up. He passed the 74, and he's up to 4th at 99, Tommy Ryan, 1.4 seconds back, and he's approaching the two old leaders as that 71 pulls away.
And Mitchell Hunt, obviously the tire wear has been his friend here over the long haul on these long green flag runs, and he continues to pull away it's going to be almost 1 second now as they cross the start finish line to complete lap number 108. And like you said, that 99 of Tommy Ryan, he's coming in a hurry. Not sure if he's got the speed to catch Mitchell Hunt at the time being, but he's definitely has caught up to these second and third place right now. As another lap or so, he's going to be moving himself into that second spot. That truck looks real stable on the long run.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking about this. If I was Mitchell Hunt, I would have pitted on the edge of the pit window because it seems like his car just grabs another gear, after a couple laps running on old tires. I would have almost pitted earlier than everybody else and forget about, just having the new tires save him and just work his way back up because he has got an absolute advantage over these guys. But now that I've seen that, how much of a lead he could pull out on him, it's a good thing I'm up here in the booth because I would have pitted so much earlier.
Yeah, and we talk about pit stops possibly coming up. I mean, those are obviously pit stops for tires. I think with fuel, they can go a little bit longer. So this is definitely not out of the question that possibility of the 71 or the 39 or 97 making it to the end on fuel is definitely not out of the question. For some of these guys, I think it's just about the tire management. And it looks like for now it's starting to fall off, obviously, for the 97 and for the 39 as Tommy Ryan was able to get around Alex Monteferranti for that third spot. He's going to pull up closer and closer with every passing lap that goes by to Chase Cabry right now. They work their way around the lap traffic. That's the 18 machine right there of Mason Baker, and he has scored on the racetrack in that 23rd spot, one lap down right now, and Tommy Ryan now off of turn number 2, he's going to get the run. He's going to be within a truck length now of Chase Cabry looking for that second spot.
Cabry running that bottom lane, trying to protect it off, but at 99, looks like he's going to get the run coming off of turn 4. I wouldn't expect anything less of him. He's going to dive it down, going to get in the back bumper of the 39. Doesn't look like he's going to pull down, so maybe he's just biding his time, looking to use momentum to get by him and not race side by side and kind of wear out his tires. It looks like he's doing that because here he comes as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, he times that just right on the exit of the corner, gets a good run. He's got the opportunity to look to the inside, but he really uses that high entry to his advantage in that 99 truck, so he's going to have to try to make the pass on corner exit. You look just behind him, too, the 8 truck, Adam Gilliland, making it up past Alex Monteferranti, puts him up into that 4 spot now, and he's actually running faster lap times than that 99, so we got a pretty good battle here shaping up for that second spot as Mitchell Hunt continues to just keep pulling away from these guys. 3 seconds now, the race lead here, so we work lap number 114. This time by, we'll have 10 to go.
It's taken 110 laps for the 8 of Adam Gilliland to work his way back up. He just has not had the speed on the short run or the medium run, really, and now only when we get these guys running some good, clean laps on a long run that we've seen him able to work his way up as the 99. Tommy Ryan works to his outside, but he's not going to have the run. He's going to push way high, and the 8's going to get third. Now he's going to go for second as the 39 pushes up the racetrack and move Adam Gilliland, a power move on the inside of the racetrack into second.
Yeah, a slight bobble by Chase Cabry that opens that bottom lane, and Gilliland takes advantage of that. 2 trucks. He gets around right there, moves himself up to that second spot. Now it looks like the 99, he makes his way around Cabry. He's going to get loosed on the corner. It's going to give Chase Cabry now the advantage heading down through the tri-oval. He's going to pull to the inside, try to get that spot back from Tommy Ryan. That is the battle for the third spot. The problem for Adam Gilliland, he's made up all that time on these guys. He's 3.3 seconds back from Mitchell Hunt now as the laps continue to wind down.
Laps winding down here. We're inside 10 laps to go. 124 scheduled distance, and that's how many we're going to get with no green-white checkers. So we're approaching that point where a caution flag would end it, and these guys, they're not shy on the wrecking, really. It's been racing incidents, really no quote-unquote dumb moves. It's just been racing incidents, so with these guys getting aggressive and the moves we've seen, it wouldn't put it past them to have a wreck, but 56 of Dustin Linger is going to pass the 99, and he's got a good run on the 39 at Chase Cabry.
Yeah, it looks like Tommy Ryan might have used up all his stuff and whatever was left on those Goodyear Eagles, and he's going to fall back another spot and continue to lose ground now to that 56 machine. Linger, though, he's battling hard. He's got some speed left in that thing. He's got some tires left on that. He's going to pull up on the back bumper of Chase Cabry. That sounds like we had somebody up in the wall off of turn number 2. So far, it hasn't affected anybody. We stay green flag racing. Alan Gilliland was able to knock off a 10th off of the time right now of Mitchell Hunt. Problem is he's really running out of time right now. This time by, we'll have 6 laps to go, and I really don't think there's enough time to make up 3.1 seconds, but Gilliland's giving it everything he has.
Yeah, at this rate, we could race another 30 laps and he wouldn't be able to catch him. He'd be on his back bumper, but he couldn't catch him as it's going to go down to 3.131, so a little bit less, but he's still gaining on him, but it's not going to be enough, Andy. As long as we don't have a caution here, it looks like we're in that threshold where we will not get another restart, so at 71, he's got it in the hand. Our problems for Andy is we're inside 5 laps to go here at Atlanta. 71 Mitchell Hunt used that outside lane the entire length of the race and is able to work his way up to the top spot. Use some pit strategy to get up front, or not pit strategy, but just get a good pit stop to get up front, and that paid off for him in the first 50 laps, and he's able to work his way up now as Adam Gilliland 3 seconds back flat, but it's just not going to be enough time. So we're at 121 right now, and 71 Mitchell Hunt, he is absolutely just flattened this field right now. As big jump from Adam Gilliland. That A-Truck's got it down to a 2.7 second lead, and that 71 Mitchell Hunt working around the 51 of Justin Fuller, so not having that run after he got caught up in the wreck there a few laps ago. The one with the 07 and the 60 of Byron Daly and Parker Kligerman, he was caught up in that wreck as we wait for Andy to jump back in the booth, get him a new microphone, but looks like Andy's not going to be able to join us for the finish, so I'm going to take you to the checkered flag. We've got 3 laps to go. 3 laps for the 71 to take his first win in the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. He's going to be your second-time winner as long as he can hang on. The 91 Doy Woods, it looks like he's going to finish far back and looks like 34th, so second to last out of this 35-car field. But 2 laps to go here at Atlanta for that 71 of Mitchell Hunt. A little rundown here, the 8 of Adam Gilliland in second. 56 of Dustin Lingert. We've seen him up front all day in that 3rd position. Chase Caber was your leader about 20 laps ago. He's 6 seconds back. And at 99, Tommy Ryan, he has absolutely destroyed his tires on his way up front. And he's down to that 8th position. It looks like he's falling down the order now as he comes to pit road. But the dream is over for that 99 truck. At Northern Tool Chevrolet, Tommy Ryan pulls on the pit road, gets some new tires, just could not hang on. But one person hanging on is Mitchell Hunt. The 71, 1 more lap to go as he's going to work past a few more lap cars, but he's basically got clean sailing here. That 8 of Adam Gilliland, he's closing in, but it's not going to be enough as at 11 on the outside. Looks like he's going to give him room. That's the 11 of James Shipman in the 17th position. 71 Mitchell Hunt has driven a great race, great stops on pit road as 71 Mitchell Hunt's going to come off a turn 4. Georgia is on his mind. The 71 of Mitchell Hunt takes the win at Atlanta.
What a great finish right there for the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. And talk about a car, maybe taking it easy there in the opening laps of every single run. It was definitely the 71, but it always seemed at the end of the run, Gabe, he was able to whatever he had left on those tires was enough to make the speed up and really make his way to the front. And I think the cautions fell just right for him, and that long green flag run at the end was definitely exactly what he needed.
Yeah, well, he had speed all night, and it wasn't just the fact the cautions fell right. It was who was involved in those cautions because, you know, you had guys like the 07 of Parker Kligerman, the 60 Byron Daly, and the 71 of Justin Fuller, all leaders who have gotten up front, and they were just taken out in one fall swoop on the wreck. Looks one more person in it. The 29 of Corey Doozer, we saw him up front too, as 71 Mitchell Hunt does the second race here at Atlanta. He's going to burn it down on the front straightaway, but well-deserved win from him, Andy.
Definitely a well-deserved win, and talking about the second race into the season, definitely what he needed for as far as continuing on with this season and the way it goes, and to get a good jump after not exactly what he wanted last week with the race at Daytona. So a good bounce back for Mitchell Hunt, and that's going to give himself the victory here tonight. We're going to step aside, take a break. We'll talk to our top 3 finishers here when we come back. But you've been watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Welcome you back here to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Just concluded the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. Race number 2 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for this 12-race season. And we'll give you a quick glimpse of the full field rundown now as they finished up here tonight. We get set to do some interviews. Mitchell Hunt coming home with the victory here. Adam Gilliland coming home in second. Dustin Lingert finishing in that third spot. Fourth went to Chase Cabri. Alex Monteferrante finished fifth. Sixth went to Chad Coleman. Bentley Glazer came home in the seventh spot. Eighth went to J.D. Laird. Richard Beasley finished ninth, and rounding out the top 10 was Michael Guest.
First car outside the top 10 and 11 goes to the 38 of Justin Weaver. Tyler Dalton in the 19 finishes 12th. Scott Mitten finishes 13th. 14th goes to Paul Nicholas Cooper in that 12th truck. And last car on the lead lap, 15th position, John Wilco in the 62. Couple cars one lap down, starting off with the 16th position, James Shipman. Justin Fuller, Rich Jett, and the 19th position, David Scoville. And Tommy Ryan saw him pit with about 2 or 3 laps to go for new tires. At 99 finishes in 20th.
21st spot went to Mason Baker. Alan Elwood running up front most of the night. He comes home in that 22nd spot. Leighton Sybil finished 23rd. 24th went to Alan Cryer. Lewis Calderon finished 25th. 26th was Jesse Atchison. Steve O'Rourke came home 27th. 28th was Corey Doozer. David Krikorian finished 29th. And Parker Kligerman involved in that wreck up towards the front of the field. He finishes 30th.
One of the guys involved in the wreck, the 60, Byron Daly, and involved in a wreck after that, the 63 of Garrett Smithley, 31st and 32nd. 33rd is going to go to Brent Sweet. 34th, Dory Wood, the 91, and 46, your last car, finishes 108 laps down, so not the start he wanted. James Craig Taylor in the 35th position.
Well, with that said, that was your full field rundown presented by iRacing.com, and we'll take a second here. We'll see if we cannot catch up with our third place finisher here tonight. Of course, that was the 56 of Dustin Lingert, and Dustin Lingert is going to come home in that third spot. And Dustin, kind of an interesting night. It seemed the cautions over the course of the night kind of came out at the right time, right when those tires were really starting to fall off. It seemed like your truck was definitely one that liked the long green flag run. It showed there at the end.
Yeah, I think it all came down to like who could save the most, and considering that we got those early yellows and we couldn't do really long runs, that 40 lap run at the end, no one really knew exactly how much to save. And I think I ended up somewhere in the middle. Like Mitch went early and I thought I'd just wait a little extra, and then Adam ended up catching me. But it was a good night overall.
Yeah, anytime you can talk about a field like this, stacked like it is with a lot of talent, to come home with a third place finish, especially second race of the season. Really good confidence booster as you head into Martinsville next week. Size up that small little paperclip of a track. It's totally different than the first 2 stops we've made here so far in the series, and obviously it's going to pose its own different type of challenges as we head there next week.
Yeah, historically I've been really good there, so I'm looking forward to it, but I haven't done much official racing in a long time, mostly just testing for dead zone last season in Pro and HPM this season, so hopefully I could get a top 10 there. I think it's more about survival than anything, though.
Absolutely. When you're talking about the amount of laps you run and how tight quarters that they can be there at Martinsville, it definitely plays one of those games, almost like a super speedway, where you just really need the track position and to stay out of trouble and find out where things fall at the end. But tonight here in Atlanta, you come home with a third-place finish. A pretty good job by yourself and your team. But obviously at this point, it's sponsor shout-outs. Who helps you get to 56 here each week?
Well, first of all, I want to thank ASCORS for putting on this series. It's a lot of fun, a lot of old names that I haven't seen in a long time. And got to thank HPM. And I'd like to do a shout out to Alan Bowes for winning his first peak race. I worked with him in Pro last season, and he's a good guy, so I wanted to put a shout out for him. And DragonTech.com, John Dragonetti, he did my paint scheme. And just go to the site at DragonTech.com. And I'm sure he can make something interesting for you guys.
We will definitely do that. We congratulate you again on a third-place finish here tonight and wish you the best of luck next week in Martinsville.
Thanks.
There you have it, our third-place finisher, Dustin Lingert. He comes home with a solid run here tonight. Obviously, the tires helped him out a bit, but we're going to throw it down to Gabe a little further down pit road. He's caught up with our second-place finisher.
Driver of that 8-truck, Adam Gillen. Adam, congratulations on your second-place finish. That's got to be a pretty good finish considering your up-and-down night.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good night. Started on pole, and new tires were going to be a big factor, so really conservative with my pace the first 3 or so runs, and even the last one. And I actually think I overdid it a little bit. Last one waited a little bit too long to get going, and unfortunately wasn't able to get to Mitchell, but nonetheless, it was a good night.
Yeah, we saw you just, consistently knocking off those times toward the end of the race, and then, with about 5 laps to go, just huge jumps in time. How many more laps do you think you should have had if you were able to catch him?
It's hard to say. I was starting to get loose, pushing it very hard there at the end. It was just tough because I would be saving the first few runs, and once we got to like lap 20, 25, a caution would come out. So it was hard to know exactly how much you could save without having enough time to get back up to the lead before like a cycle. So it's tough to determine that, and obviously I was a little bit too patient and came up a little bit short.
A big factor of the race, saving tires. We saw the 99, Tommy Ryan, in that Northern Tool Chevrolet. He moved up the racetrack or he moved up the field toward about 20 laps to go, and then he just pushed so hard he ended up having to pit with about 5 laps to go. Was that going to be your future if you decided, push a little bit earlier? Or do you think you kind of pulled it right, just kind of hanging back? You said you waited too long, but you think that was a better decision than timing it wrong?
Yeah, it definitely was, because it's a lot better to get second than possibly being 10th, 15th mired back there. But I think the deal with Tommy was a lot of guys were not getting full gas to try to help the handling and not be so loose. And I think Tommy might have misjudged that a little bit and not had enough gas, because a lot of guys were playing around. I was filling it up every time, thinking that it really wouldn't help the handling. I didn't want to be too tight, but obviously he misjudged it a little bit and had to pit. But no, I definitely think I had the right strategy, but it could have been a little bit better if I'd known when to go.
That's interesting to find out, the guy's fuel strategy. That's why we need somebody on pit road. Evan Pasoko, little shout out to you. Get out of the peak booth and come down here and do pit road for the guys here at LSRTV. But Adam, congratulations on your second place finish. Any sponsors here tonight you want to thank?
No, I just got to thank ASCORS for putting on this league and you guys for broadcast. And I'll give a shout out to my NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series sponsor, Gary Mercer Trucking. He's not on the car for this series, but he is on for that program, and just wanted to give him a shout out. But nonetheless, just thanks to ASCORS for this league, allowing us to race, and you guys for putting on the broadcast.
That's Adam Gillen, driver of the 8-truck, comes here second tonight, and I believe you've caught up with the winner in Victory Lane.
Yeah, I am down here in Victory Lane, and we're going to catch up with tonight's winner here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, that was the 71 of Mitchell Hunt. And Mitchell, we talk about this race and the ups and downs of it, conserving the tires, how much these tires wear out at this racetrack. And For you, it seemed like every single run, you timed it out just right. You kind of fell back there at the opening laps, let those guys really push the issue up front, and then you were able to take advantage of that. And at the end of each run, there you were coming back up through the field, took the lead a couple of times, and right there at the end, able to take that lead away from Chase Cabry, and then pretty much run away with it.
Yeah, I felt like obviously tires were really big, especially for the long runs. Luckily, we had the longest green flag of the night there at the end, so I felt like that's where I was best at, and being able to save tires early on for about the first 15-20 laps was definitely something that you needed to do.
Well, we can finally put Daytona out of the rearview mirror, at least for the Truck Series for the time being, and then we move on to these tracks like Atlanta, and then, of course, next week at Martinsville. Is this where we really start seeing the players of who isn't going to be in contention here in the next few weeks as the season rolls on for that championship? These type of tracks really put you guys to the test. Obviously, tonight with the tire wear, it worked out in your favor, and then we head to Martinsville next weekend. Now a totally different track from the first two that we've seen, and a real short track, a real track that really comes into track position and more of a strategy on the calls you make on pit road and things like that. How does this set you guys up after getting the win here tonight?
I didn't race at Daytona, so this is definitely helpful. It'll definitely jump up quite a few people. But yeah, pretty much these tracks, these mile and a half short tracks, definitely is. Whoever you see running up front, that's who's going to be in contention for end of the season championship. So everyone's going to have, I think, their one track or two that they'll stand out. I know Atlanta and Texas are both tracks that I really like, and Vegas as well. So pretty much any track, mile and a half track that gets really hot and slippery after like 15-20 laps, I really like.
Well, there's a few of those on the schedule, so I'm sure we'll be talking to you much more as this season progresses, though. Your first start of the season, but overall, not too bad. 1 for 1 as you come home with the victory here at Atlanta. Sponsor shout outs. Who helps the 71 get it to victory lane?
No, I'm a privateer. I just do my own thing. Get chassis from the old Team Oreo, and that's about it.
Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate the show you put on for everybody here tonight, really sticking it to them, showing them on the long green flag run. You had what it takes as far as tire wear, and you come home with a solid win here, almost 2.5 seconds over Adam Gilliland. So congratulations again on your first start and your first win of the season.
Thanks. I'll try and do it next week, too.
Well, that's what it's all about. We'll look forward to seeing you next weekend at Martinsville.
All right. Thank you.
There you have it, our winner on the night here tonight, Mitchell Hunt. And we talk about the tire wear right from the get-go, Gabe, and that's what it ended up being. Somebody who could, conserve at the beginning and really pour it on at the end. And we saw just the opposite of that from a couple other guys. The 39 and the 97 come to mind. Chase Cabry, Alex Monteferranti, both of those guys getting top 5. So the race wasn't bad, but I really think that pushing the issue early on, it's maybe what cost them to get the win here tonight.
Well, I think the way the race, went out, the first half of the race or even the first 3 quarters of the race dictated the way those guys were going to run. They were kind of expecting another caution the way things were flying, and it just didn't come. And they ran about 10 or 15 laps as hard as they could, trying to get as much time in front of the field as they could, and it just didn't pay off.
Well, it didn't pay off for them this week, but still, overall, a solid top 5 finish for those guys. And I know as they continue to go on, and we talk about Chase Cabry, we talked about it during the race. He is a short track guy, and we head to Martinsville next weekend. I expect to see him up towards the front of the field, possibly battling for another victory here at ASCORS. And speaking of that, we want to thank our sponsors once again, that help get this going and get this up on the air week in and week out. SegPay, of course, for over 10 years, processing online payment transactions for all merchants in all categories and specializing in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are a leader in the non-card or the card not present transaction. They have a strong relationship with acquiring banks and with credit card schemes. And to learn more, visit segpay.com. Of course, as they are the proud sponsor of the ASCOR Truck Series. And of course, Garrett Smithley Racing, who sponsors the Garrett Smithley number 0 for JD Motorsports and the Chevy Camaro. And you mentioned he will be at Atlanta this week getting a start in that Chevy Camaro in the Xfinity Series on Saturday evening. Well, with that all said, I think we had a thrilling race last week at Daytona, the type of racing we saw there, and then to come here at Atlanta. Gabe, final thoughts as we now head to the third different track in 3 weeks, and we head to Martinsville next week.
Yeah, I think it shows to the talent of this league. It's kind of hard to put on a show at a place like Atlanta, and once you get kind of spread out, guys, they just kind of run single file, and these guys never had an opportunity to do that. They were just so close. They just raced side by side up until the end. We even saw that with guys on 40-lap old tires struggling 5 seconds off the pace, just racing for all they got, and I expect to see the same thing at Martinsville. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Can't stress that enough, and in 1 week's time, we will get that done. We want to remind you, though, any information regarding the ASCORS League, you can visit them at ASCORSRacing.com. Of course, we want to thank the league administrator, Brian Schoenberg, and the series director, DJ Lyon, for all the work that they do behind the scenes to put this up on there. You can stay up to date, of course, with us, with LSRTV, online at livesimracing.com and, of course, at facebook.com/livesimracingtv. Of course, you can also find post-race recaps, news, and other press for everything going on here on LSRTV through our partners at Race Chaser Online at racechaseronline.com or in racing news at iracing.com/iracingnews. I want to congratulate again Mitchell Hunt on the victory here at Atlanta, and we want to thank all of you who tuned in right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live, and we want to send you off and farewell, and we'll see you next week as ASCORS Truck Series moves on to Martinsville Speedway. Until then, we'll see you.